All right, welcome. We're live from Wisconsin today. Flight went well, everything went well, so that was good. So today we're going to be talking about prepositions, which is also super important in English. One of the things that we could have mentioned in the last class about British and American English is also the difference in prepositions that we use. For example, I would say on the weekend, and they would say at the weekend. So in a team, on a team, things like that. So obviously these won't be 100% perfect for each of the languages, for each of the areas, I should say. But this is just a general kind of, use of the prepositions. So if I'm able to do this, I'm going to go ahead and it doesn't like this. What if I do? I know what I have to do. Welcome to me and technology again, live from my parents' house. And here we go. So I'm going to share that. Great. So now, let's see here. Yep, you see that too. To make this big, is this to make it bigger? Zoom in. It is. Wonderful. So prepositions. Okay, so here are some advanced prepositions within sentences. Have a think about what they mean in each context. All right, and also think about how else they could be used. So obviously we can always use things in more than one example. I can tell you a word, and maybe then something else is different, or we use it in a different context. The word, for example, deal. Deal in English is not a preposition, but we can use it to deal cards, to deal with a situation. There's just lots of different contexts. So a prepositions relatively always. I say that very cautiously because I know that if I say something, I'll probably contradict myself in a matter of minutes. So what I think we should do here is, Ken, if you would gladly read for us the two examples we have for below.
Okay. The fish are below the surface, equal to lower than something else, but above ground. Your score is below average, equal to less than the norm.
Good. So these are, again, two different contexts in which we use below. Do you have any questions, Ken?
No, I think I have a sense of this.
Yeah, these are two, these prepositions, well, I should say below is pretty normal in this context. It's physical, or it kind of means lower than.
Right.
Okay, so we're lower than or less than, I should say. So that's it. Good. Well, what about over? Can you talk to us about the meaning of over?
Okay. He climbed over the wall and over the bridge, equal to overcoming an obstacle and getting to the other side of something. Fine. Yeah.
Okay, good. So climbing over the wall is the physical action here. He's moving. Get over. I have to get over this chair, or I don't know. The other one is get over the bridge, which is cross something. So you're physically moving over something in both of these contexts. Now we also have the preposition or the phrasal verb get over. I have to get over my previous relationship, for example. You have to continue, you have to feel better and not sad about what happened, etc. Okay? So very good. Any questions here, Ken? Also, if you have any situations in which you'd like to talk about, that would be perfectly fine as well. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Well, if you don't have any questions, let's talk about beneath. Have you seen the word beneath before?
Yes.
Okay, well then you can go ahead and read it.
Okay. She feels that position that the position is beneath her, equal to not enough or too easy for a person's capability. They cuddled beneath the seat, equal to under something.
Good. So here we can also see that the position it's beneath her, it's kind of lower. She is better than that. And so that's going to be a low job. She'll probably get paid lower than she deserves because she probably studied more than this.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So that's the first situation. And now the second situation is they cuddled beneath the sheets. So I'd like to ask cuddle. Do you understand what cuddle means?
I think like babies do.
Okay, babies can cuddle, yes. Also, when you're adults and you cuddle, it means you basically hug laying down. All right, to say it in a general context there, that everyone can seem
Like
to.
crawl?
No. Cuddle is you're just hugging each other, just laying down.
Okay.
Cuddle is, or you can cuddle on the couch, for example. You both can be sitting on the couch and just kind of hugging each other. That's cuddling,
I see. Okay.
being close to each other. Okay.
Mhm.
So good. And then beneath the sheets is we're talking about under the sheets, basically. And
Yeah.
so under and beneath have very similar meanings as well. It just might depend on the context. Maybe it's one of those that, no, we just say this. Because you can easily say in this context, they cuddled under the sheets. That's perfect.
Mhm.
Also beneath. And so there's a very, like I said, I think it's one of those situations where it's either the same or completely different depending on the situation. Okay. But in many cases, we can use beneath and under in the same context or interchangeably. Again, under is a little bit easier to understand, I think. Beneath looks like a silly word. You know, it has a, it's not exactly beneath. It looks strange for a word, I think, and so under is used more commonly,
Mhm.
especially when children are learning English. They use under.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
with that, our next ones are beside and besides. First of all, have you heard this word, Ken?
It's confusing. Beside and besides. Yeah.
Okay, well, do you understand what one of them means?
I can say beside me. That such things. Beside
Okay, yes.
something. Yeah.
Okay, see, that's good. And as um, okay, so here you will see the slightly tiny difference in what the S does. Okay, so go ahead and read the sentences, please, Ken.
Okay. Can I get you anything else besides water to go to in addition to? He sat beside me the lecture to go next to. Mm.
Okay, so with the S, you can think the S is the extra. That's when you want to add anything. Is there anything else you want besides just water? Okay, so you're talking about adding another object, if it's food or drink or something like that.
Mhm.
And then the other one is just next to. Without the S is next to.
Yeah.
I was almost wondering because I know the word toward and towards is the
Mhm.
same. Whoops, I'm not. New computer. Okay, toward and towards. Okay, so these two words basically is the same toward in the direction of is probably the best definition I can give at the moment. Basically, there's no difference between toward with the S or without the S.
Mhm.
Okay, I've learned or I've heard that one is more British and one is more American. I'm
Mhm.
going to maybe say no. It's kind of like, using the present continuous tense or be going to. It's not, one is not more British than the other one. It's just, it is what it is.
Mhm.
So, toward or towards, it depends in the moment if I'm speaking fast or whatever. So, there's no difference. So, I thought there was something like that with this one, but it looks like that is not the case.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Ken, about this one?
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, perfect. Well, let me go ahead and go down to more prepositions. On. All right. So why don't you go ahead and read our sentences for on?
Okay. He relies on her to make all the decisions. Equal to used with the verb rely. Based on what they've just said, I don't think I'll be getting the job. Equal to used with the verb base. Mm.
Yes. Okay. So we'll talk about based on second, but rely on based on are both verbs with a preposition. So these are prepositional phrases, if I'm correct. It's just like depend on, it's the same thing. It's just kind of the same. We also know on as my computer is on the table, for example. So the physical sense. Okay. Something to be on TV is also a prepositional phrase in which we have a verb plus a preposition. Okay, so that's what we're looking at in this context. Now, there is specific things in every case. For example, get on the table. That means physically climb onto the table. And so these are just two different examples of many, 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 many different examples. Okay. So rely on is to depend on somebody, to trust. All right. Use of the verb rely as in the same example with a different verb in the next sentence. Based on. Based on is due to what they've just said or because of what they just said with the information that they just told me. Okay. So there's a couple of different meanings here. Did you have a question, Ken?
Relies on how to build. Relies on how to make all. Uh, what does first sentence mean? Relies on how to make all the decisions.
Okay.
Relies on all her decisions.
Well,
All
no,
the
rely on her. So he trusts her to make all the decisions. He
okay.
is confident that she will make all the decisions. He knows that she's going to make all the decisions.
Mhm. Yeah, I got it.
Good. Well, that's a pretty simple sentence then, so that's good. And then based on, like I said, is, due to the information, blah, blah, blah. Just like in the movies when they say, this is based on a true story,
Mhm. Right.
it's, there's substance there, there's something else they're referring to. Okay. Any other questions as far as grammar, vocabulary? I mean, I'm a little bit kind of going crazy at the moment. I have about 10,000 things in my head, and so I feel like I'm going quickly with today's class because I'm just like, go, 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 go. So, Ken, if there's any questions, you want to go back. We have about 2 more slides, I think, of different prepositions. So, I
Okay.
mean, we do have more examples, so we will have time to come back. But I feel like I'm speaking extremely fast today. Is that true?
Maybe because you are in America.
Maybe because I had a really strong coffee really quickly this
Sorry.
morning.
Uh, I heard one English teacher returned to America from Japan. In
Mm-hmm.
Japan, he have to speak English slower than usual.
Yeah.
So right after, it's opposite case. Right after he came back to America, everybody said to him, "What happened to your English? You speak very slowly." So yeah, but maybe opposite case. You okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
Yeah.
it's a combination of both things. I definitely have been able to speak English faster here, and I've noticed that. Yesterday, I think I said a sentence without even like closing my mouth, because I spoke so fast.
Mm.
Um, so that was pretty funny. So I'm realizing that obviously I'm speaking faster, and I don't have to pronounce as slowly. So I'm not really, and I'm getting into teacher mode.
But
um,
not. I want to be familiar with a native speaker's speed. So yeah.
you might be familiar with my normal. It's difficult, to go from your native language speaking super fast, not pronouncing everything correctly, using different vocabulary, and then all of a sudden back to teacher mode. And it's like, wait, slow down,
Right.
pronounce, and then enunciate the words. It's crazy. And I just spoke to Thomas earlier pretty fast as well. So I don't know if it was the connection or my pronunciation, because he said, "What? I didn't understand that." So
Yeah, but that's fine to me. Yeah, I understand what you're talking. Yeah.
Well, and plus you were here in the United States, so
Maybe,
you've
yeah, that's
heard
right.
normal English level people and how fast we normally speak. So, but it was just
Right.
a rush of things this morning. I obviously was like putting the link up because I couldn't get to the right page. So everything's fine now. I just have noticed that I was probably speaking faster than I should be. So
Mhm. Okay.
good. Perfect. Thank you, Ken. All right. So with beyond, let's talk about the ways we can use beyond.
Okay. I can see myself being here beyond 7 p.m. I have so much work to do. Equal to after. He lives beyond his means. Equal to a degree or amount greater than.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any questions?
Maybe means in this context, maybe
Yeah.
outcome. Sorry, income.
Mm,
No.
no, I would say he lives beyond his means. Um, he lives above and beyond. He lives more than
Mhm.
his means. Like what? Actually, that's a good question. Means can mean a couple different things here. I would think it would be
Mhm.
either financial
Mhm.
or knowledge. So he
Mhm.
lives kind of a better life than he should. He has an expensive TV, a big house, a big
Mhm.
car. So it
Mhm.
looks like he has more money than he really does. Or
Mhm.
um, he lives beyond his means. So that's financial. So knowledge, maybe he's got a better job than he studied for. If
Mhm.
I study like a basic 101 class of something and then I'm like manager of some department in that
Mhm.
same area, that's beyond my means. It's
Mhm.
too much. It's further than I can, actually go or do, for example. So,
Mhm. Okay.
oh, that was considering I woke up today and I was in a complete like
Mhm.
dream. I think I literally slept for almost 10 hours.
Do,
So
do,
we
do you feel the jet lag now?
no, the coffee really hit me pretty good, and so I'm pretty
Okay.
happy about that. Plus I was in a hurry, so I had to drink it fast. Normally
Mhm.
I'll drink my coffee over an hour or something, and I drank this in probably 15 minutes. So
Mhm. I see.
that
Oh,
was definitely
that's
faster than I normally drink.
nice.
So jet lag, no, I actually don't. I mean, yeah. The funny thing is that I woke up, let's use prepositions, at
Mhm.
2:40 a.m. in Spain
Mhm. Oh
yesterday at
yeah.
some point, whatever yesterday was now.
Mhm.
Okay, then I went to the airport, and
Mhm.
then I got on my flights,
Mhm.
and I went to Malaga, then to Madrid, waited in Madrid's
Mhm.
airport for 4 hours. Then I took my flight from Madrid to Chicago,
Mhm.
and I had a friend waiting for me there.
Mhm.
Do you see all these prepositions I'm using? Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
and um, then I came home and we stopped and got dinner at a restaurant.
Mhm.
And I got home and then I actually went to bed. It was like almost 5 a.m. in Spain time. So it was
Yeah.
over 24 hours. I wasn't awake those almost 30 hours or something, but
Right.
I mean, I did sleep in the planes and things, but I needed to because I had only slept for two hours before I got on the plane,
Mm.
originally in Malaga. So I was just tired yesterday. I think I hit the bed and was out. Very colloquial language. I hit the bed is when your head lays down on that pillow and you're out means you're sleeping within 2 seconds, and that basically
Mhm.
happened.
Oh, I
So
see. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
then I woke up at what, 7 o'clock a.m. here, which is 2 p.m. in Spain. So if I slept from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m., that was a long time. So
Mhm.
I just felt a little, we call it groggy. It's kind of when you're in the
Okay.
middle of sleeping and awake.
Okay. I see. Yeah.
But now everything's fine. So, and I've already driven today, which I don't drive in Spain. So it's fantastic.
Oh, interesting. Mhm.
So good. So great use of prepositions and explaining my story and how I got here. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at among, which among can be sometimes difficult. Okay, so go ahead and read our examples, please.
I walked among all the trees, feeling alive. Echoed between more than two objects or people. Sits among the group of accountants. Echoed in the company of.
Okay, good. Before you say anything, I'm going to semi-disagree with the first example. I walked among all the trees feeling alive. I like the sentence, but do you know what problem I would have with the definition here? Between more than two objects or people.
There's no people around I.
Okay, well, I mean, this is for any kind of situation, and actually, I'm reading this incorrectly. Between more than two objects. So it's three objects or more. I would have said this differently. I would say, because, Ken, you're on the spot today. What preposition would we use if it were just two objects?
Between.
Thank you. This is the huge difference between, I'm going to use between and among, because there are two prepositions, okay? Between we use for two objects, among is three or more. So when I see two objects on this slide, I think, no, it's three objects or more. However, this sentence is inverted between more than two objects. So I was looking at it incorrectly. So it is perfect, it's fine. But I would have said between three objects or more, just to emphasize that number three. Because if you see two here, you're going to think two, and that's not the case.
I see.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No, I think I got this sense.
Oh, prepositions. You're so easy and difficult at the same time. So the other one is she's among the group of accountants. Obviously, in a group is literally, the definition is three or more people.
Right.
So we have to use the preposition among. If you say she's between, no, we wouldn't say that. She's among the top 5 accountants in the company, for example, something like that. But we're still talking more than 3 people, 3 or more, I should say.
Right.
Okay. What about around? And around is semi-different in the UK, just because I know that they use round. Get what do they say? Get round. They use round instead of around. So to me, round just sounds like I'm missing something, aka the A. And so go ahead and read around, okay?
Okay. This is a fence around the garden, echoed on all sides of. I woke up around 6 a.m. Echoed approximately.
Very good. So this is perfect. Around means, the surrounding area, okay? So that's one way. That's a physical. And then the kind of non-physical way is around 6 a.m. or about 6 a.m. Maybe a little before, maybe a little after. And as far as a native, I mean, you say, hey, what time is it? It's 10:01 in Wisconsin right now. Or I can say, it's about 10 o'clock. It's around 10 o'clock. I would say that until probably up to 10 minutes before or after the hour. Because once we get to 15 before or after the hour, then we say 1:45 or 1:15. And that's something I want to acknowledge, just because as a native, you say, hey, what time is it? If it's 10:07, if I don't want to say it's 10:07, I might say it's just after 10. Or I might say it's about 10:10 or about 10 past 10. If I'm going to say it's 10 past 10 or almost 10 past 10, the shorter way actually would be it's 10:07. Again, almost always in English, we're going to find the shortest way of saying something in order to communicate. We don't need to say 1,000 words when we can say 999. So that's one of those things too. So we're always going to look for the shortest way to say something. Okay, or the simplest, I should say. That's another good word. Okay. So any questions here, Ken, about around?
No, and I'm happy another me dropped now.
I'm sorry?
I'm happy another me dropped now.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm happy for you as well. And let's go down here. All right, so we're gonna look at examples here, and it's a pity that I can't write here, but we can go ahead and write in the chat box. Okay, it says think about and write 2 sentences with each of the prepositions. Make sure to use 2 different meanings. What I want us to do is to each write a sentence. Okay?
So make a sentence 2 different sentence using.
Well, no, we'll each write 1 sentence, so we'll have 2
Okay.
different examples. Then we'll talk about the meaning. So we might overlap, we might both use the same meaning in the statement, but that's perfectly fine. I'd like us to use kind of the most, maybe the first thing that pops into your head. Okay, when you see below, what do you think of? What's the first example sentence? I'm going to go ahead and type mine.
The temperature is below 30 now. 30 Celsius now.
30 degrees Celsius. Okay, yes, that's perfect. My example is the cat is below the table. Basically, the cat's under the table. And of course, I would use cats because my cats are in Spain. So both are perfect. You're talking about the non-physical, and I'm talking about the physical. So that actually worked out very, very well. Now over, because I used a sentence earlier, I have to use a different one. Okay, what is your sentence? I'm going to type mine.
Okay, there's a castle over the hill.
Okay. I'm also not used to this keyboard. Enter. Okay, so you crossed over something to a castle, you said?
There is a castle over the hill.
There you go. So you have to basically cross over. You have to go over something, and there you'll see it. I just crossed over the world because I flew from Europe to the Americas.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so good. Let's see. And actually, cross over is one of those prepositional phrases again. And like I said, in these classes, what I'd like to do is use more kind of, I don't want to say normal English, but more native English. Because really, academic English is great because you learn parts of speech, grammar, vocabulary, etc. However, it depends, obviously, who you're speaking to. But I think it's also super important to learn the more colloquial, informal phrases that we use, slang. When I said I'm going to type mine, of course, we've talked about this in class. I'm going to type mine. And so I think while I'm here, I'd like to take advantage, or at least if you notice that I say something, Ken, go ahead and point it out. Say, hey, I haven't heard that before. I understand what it means, but let's talk about it.
Okay.
Or if I speak too fast or something, just please remind me, because it is unbelievably difficult for me to go back to teacher mode when I'm in native mode. And and it happens all the time.
I have to deal with that all the time in America. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, but and that's perfectly fine. But if there's something that sticks out, if you notice something, I'd really like you to, say it or just write it down in the chat box and then, mention it later or something like that. Because there obviously will be people in this, I shouldn't say in this class, but people who will watch this and say, I didn't understand that. I wish you would have explained that. So if at all possible, just let me know. Okay? Perfect. Let's go on to beneath. Okay. Okay. Do you have your example?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a mattress beneath the sheet.
Okay, good. That's true. Mine is cleaning toilets is beneath me. But it's such a low job, I can't do it. I'm too superior to clean toilets. Which, this is a lie. I do clean toilets, but I wish this sentence were true.
Yeah, I don't know the beneath that in that sense actually. Yeah.
Well, actually, that's really great then. So let's go back and take a look at the example. Beyond. Okay, beneath. This is my example.
Nice.
She feels that that position is beneath her, not enough or too easy for a person's capabilities. This is not, how do I say this? I'm better than cleaning toilets. That, you know, for example, I'm a princess, which I've been called in my previous years, a princess. And so princesses don't clean toilets. It's not in her, you know, her statute, no, her status, you know, so it's too low for her to do. That's what I'm referring to in this case of beneath. Cleaning toilets is beneath me. Okay, does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes it sounds arrogant actually.
Arrogant? Yeah, it does. It should. This is kind of one of those, like, I'm saying this, but it's a joke, but I wish it were true. So good. All right, let's go down here again. Beside or besides?
Okay.
Okay.
Besides and besides this problem, we have to solve that problem too.
Okay, good. So we're kind of using these in the same context. Mine is, do you have anything besides that? Now, this can be used in many different contexts. Have you heard this, Ken?
Sorry?
Have you heard of this question before? Do you have anything besides that?
Yeah, I think so, yes. I understand the meaning, yes.
Okay, well, this can be used in many different contexts. For example, you go to a shop or a store, and you say, do you have anything besides that dress, or something similar besides this, or colors, or sizes? Okay, so you can use it in that. Also, on Sundays, when I talk to my parents, I always say, do you have anything else? And I don't say besides that, but it can also be used in that context. Do you have anything besides that? You know, anything besides what we've talked about?
Right.
Any more information? So, very good. Okay. What about on? Why don't you go ahead? I'm trying to think of a different one because I did use some examples before. On. Okay. Do you have an example?
Okay. I rely on online class for learning English.
Okay, perfect. So you rely on, so that was one of the examples that we did see, and that's absolutely perfect. My example is the mirrors on the wall. So we use to be on. This is a phrasal verb. It has to be. It's a verb plus a preposition. Well, anyway, we use be on, for example, on TV. Oh yeah, there is a TV show on, or there's something like that on TV. Or when we hang something on a wall, there's a picture on the wall. It's on the wall. Things like that. Okay. So good. All right. So now we're to beyond. Okay, I got it good. No. I'm trying to think how to word this, and it's coming up like in translated Spanish, but with English words. This is another problem I've been having is Spanglish throughout my trip home. Okay. Do you have your sentence? Beyond.
Okay. Becky's English ability is beyond me.
Becky's English abilities are beyond me, but very good. But perfect. Exactly. Well, I have something similar. It's beyond me. That's like, I don't even understand. Whatever she's talking about is beyond me. That's just something I have no idea. So,
Oh, I see. I didn't know this phrase. Okay.
exactly. And that's exactly why I wanted to use it. Okay, it's beyond me. I have no clue. You know, I don't understand, something like that.
I see.
Okay, wonderful. All right, among.
Mm.
Among.
Mm.
This isn't, it sounds like it isn't my favorite preposition because I'm not thinking of a very good example.
Mm. I was among the crowd on the street.
Mm-hmm. Okay, mine is not very inspirational. She's among her family. She's with her family.
Yeah,
So.
that's you. Yeah.
All right, next preposition. Among is, you know, it's in a group, in 3 or more, something like that. It's basically, that's it. She's among one of the top people in her class, etc. So pretty boring as a preposition, not too dynamic. So let's take a look at around. Around.
This class is around 11:30 p.m. here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So she's going to be around my house at 6 p.m. is my example. So we're kind of referring to time. Now, mine is, we can change this. She's going to be around my house at 6 p.m. This means around the surrounding areas. Now, she's going to be at my house around 6 p.m.
Right.
We now change the context. She's going to be inside my house around more or less at 6 o'clock, so before or after. So the you know, it depends where you put around in the sentence. It might change the meaning.
Right.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ken, for understanding. Let's go down to the next page here. All right, so this is, I hate this part. The meaning. Okay, so I'm going to have to use the mouse to go up and down because this is always challenging for me as well. So okay, we're looking at the meanings. We have to think of the correct preposition. Some of these are easy. Less than the norm. Less than the norm. Let's look at these prepositions because these are 1, 2. Yep, this is all of them. So less than the norm. I think I know what my answer is. What do you have?
Less than the norm means maybe below the norm.
Ooh, and I was thinking beneath. So if we go to this, under something, ooh, you are right. 1 point for Ken. We could keep score. I really might lose at this. I'm not good at taking exams and stuff. So 1 for Ken. Perfect. Overcoming an obstacle. Okay, I think I know which one it is. Wait, let me go up so you can see the prepositions.
Over.
Yeah, that's my answer too. So we'll go up to over here, over the bridge, overcoming an obstacle. Very good. Lots of movement here. Sorry if you get sick. Approximately?
Around.
Thank you. Well, I won't go up for that. That's good. And on all sides of.
Among.
I think it's around as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just because of the 2 different meanings that we have. So that's good. Okay. Getting to the other side of something.
Over. Beyond.
Ooh, I thought of over. Getting to the other side of something. It's got to be over because beyond isn't physical in this. Beyond. No, I need to go beyond that house. I wouldn't say it like that, but I think you can technically. But yes, I would say over. Getting to the other side of something. Okay. Perfect. Not enough or too easy for someone's capabilities. Not, what was my example?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Do you know?
And that I forgot. Yeah. So hard.
Hold on, let me go up to the list and see if you can remember from that. Anything?
Besides,
Eh,
I don't know, beneath.
no,
No.
it's not.
Beyond.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, I'm
beneath.
confused. Beneath.
Beneath.
Yeah,
Where
that's
was
right.
it?
Beneath.
Not enough or too easy for a person's capabilities.
Right.
Okay, good. Oh, I'm not keeping score anymore. Well, we got 50-50 for some, so that's fine, but I got that one definitely. Okay, lower than something else. Ooh, what? But above ground. What? Lower than something else, but above ground.
Oh, beneath?
I'm going to go with below.
Below. Okay, below, yeah.
Just because I remember lower than or less than in the definitions.
I see.
What did I say? Below. Where's
No.
below? Below is up here. Lower than something, but above ground.
Right.
Perfect. All right, I might be winning by one, Ken. Lower than something, that's what we just said. To a degree or amount greater than.
Among. No, no. No, to a degree or amount greater than.
This is one of the definitions exactly from the other slide. To a degree or amount greater than. I know I used it in a different context. I don't think it's among though, so let's check this out. Beyond.
Yeah.
To a degree, yeah. He lives beyond his means. Sorry. Well, 0-0 for that one for us, but that's fine. Under something.
That's beneath.
Or below.
Below, yeah.
Beneath, below. This is, okay, we use these two, so under something, beneath. You know, I might have to do a class about beneath and below just to see if there are some differences. There have to be differences. Under something, in addition to.
Besides.
What? Well, thank you for emphasizing that, F. Ken. That is absolutely true. That's perfect. Besides was the addition, was the extra. What about next to?
Beside.
Correct. I'll give you an A+ for this exam just because that was fantastic. What about, it says used with the verb rely.
On.
Exactly. You used it in a sentence. We saw the example, so that's fine. In the company of.
Among.
Yes. Very good. And look, here we have all of the prepositions down here. I didn't have to go up, but that's okay. Used with the verb base.
On.
Exactly. What about after?
After. Yeah. There's a word. Okay. After. You know, beyond.
I think.
Over. Yeah, that's
I think
right.
it's over.
Yeah, that's right. Game over. Yeah, that's right.
I love when people are like, they use. Oh wait. It was after? No, beyond.
Beyond.
It's beyond. We both got it wrong. Over and beyond. Well, yeah, game over means it's the end. It's not like next, you know, like, I mean, you are going to do something else probably, but it's not. All right, and then between more than two objects or people.
Among.
Oops, yep, exactly. So that's pretty easy. So what we'll do here is we have a couple minutes left. We have a decent amount. Do you have any questions about anything, Ken? Prepositions or anything?
No, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me take a look here about beneath and below and see if I can find anything quickly. Okay, here we go. The difference between under, below, beneath. Ooh, and one that you might not have seen or heard. Underneath. Have you heard of the word underneath?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Well, that's good. I'm just going to put that in here so everyone can see it underneath. What is... Oh,
And
no,
click
I'm sure...
the X button to.
I can't show that. All right, so let me stop screen sharing for a second. Hi, my hair looks terrible today. Sorry, everybody. So I didn't realize I was screen sharing everything here. So you saw me copying everything. Okay, that's fine. So under, it says, is the most popular. Obviously, it's kind of the most simple and the easiest, but below is also something that's pretty common. And like when I say pretty common, I mean that children are going to learn this. All right, well, here they go into percentages. That's not what I want. So under is the default choice. So basically, use under if you don't really know. All right, so these other three words, below, underneath, and beneath, you can use interchangeably with under. So any questions, under is your go-to preposition. Okay. Now below, okay, we can talk about different temperatures as you use the example. When you have a form or something that says, please read below, and that's the information that you need to know. The opposite of below is above, okay, is above. So there's that, and then beneath is more formal than under, of course, it's more difficult. And so underneath will also be something like that too. Beneath, it says it can kind of mean that it's covered by something. You know, like when we had the example of cuddling beneath the sheets. Mm-hmm. So they were covered by something. I suppose I hadn't thought about that. And then you can talk about it as emotions, you know, beneath, or even personally, I would say underneath. I don't know if I should be mixing these two at the moment, but beneath his... No, I would say personally underneath. So I don't think I'll think of a sentence for that one then. And then when I talked about cleaning toilets is beneath me. So it's, you know, lower than what I want to do, or lower than my status because I'm a princess. So there's that. And then underneath says it's more casual, kind of a casual expressive feeling of underneath or under. So if I say, hey, where'd you find the remote? Oh, it was under the cushion in the couch, or underneath the cushion in the couch. I'm inventing my own tongue twisters today. So, and so it's a little bit more, I would say, mature, if I can say that, when it comes to under. Okay? So good. So do you have any questions, Ken?
Yeah, underneath is difficult to get. And could you explain a little more about underneath?
Underneath basically is the same as under. However, you're going to use it kind of, like I said, more of a mature way. It's just going to be a little bit different. Under the bed, underneath the bed. Under and underneath, I think, are the same. I really do. So I don't think that's a problem. Can you think of any specific examples?
Maybe kids say just under, but some adults say underneath.
And that's the difference between like a B1 level and like a B2 level in English, things like that. That's the, you know, people are doing their exams, for example, like, oh yeah, I'm going to do my B1 exam, for example, or I'm going to get certified. What they're talking about is in some exams, you can have great fluency, you can speak well, pronounce well, enunciate well, etc. You can do everything perfectly fine in one level and the other level. The only difference here is the grammar that you use. and vocabulary that you're also using. Those are the two most important things, especially the grammar. Okay. So what happens is, in a higher level exam, you're going to want to use underneath and not under. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Well, let me go ahead and take a look at my class on Wednesday's schedule. This will be the 30th, and I actually have my schedule. Let me see for September. If I did, okay, no, I'm so ahead of my game that I sent my September schedule, at least half of it, to Thomas already. So I'm really happy about that. So on Wednesday, it's going to be at the office, a reading, and then we're also going to do a role play. So hopefully someone else comes. So tell your friends. It's going to be the same time as today. So I appreciate you coming today, Ken. I know it's late for you.
No worries, but yeah, I'm not old, so.
Perfect. Well, very good. And when do you start working again? I mean, you're a teacher, so you're not in school now, are you? You're not working.
Yeah, it's at night. It's at night, so.
Well, no, not exactly at this moment. In this moment in your life, are you working at school?
Yes. Yeah. My how can I say, the not college, university. Yes.
Okay. Good. Well, I was just wondering because I know some schools have started here in Wisconsin, but as far as Spain, there's nothing that started. They normally start.
You mean a summer vacation, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in a summer vacation. Yes, now.
So when do you guys start back?
October. October.
Well, I suppose October is normal for university in Spain. For here, we normally start in September. I would say for college and university, and the children, some kids are back at school already, so they start pretty early here. But then they also get out early June, whereas in Spain they're there till the 20th.
Maybe because of the snow days.
As we take that into consideration, no, in other states too.
Really?
So not just Wisconsin.
I see. Usually middle school, high school, elementary school starts September, 1st of September.
Okay. Yeah. Well, in Spain, we have a whole bunch of like town fairs, which is actually going on today. The town fair starts in the town where I live in Spain. And so it will be basically after. They normally I think they start the 15th or something of September always, because it's past, it's after the fair and things like that. So, well, fantastic. Well, we have made it to the end of class today. I'm so glad everything worked out. Hopefully I don't have any other problems setting up before class on Wednesday. And that's it. So Ken, thanks a lot for coming today. And
thank you very much.
You're welcome. We'll see you all on Wednesday, okay?
Okay.
All right, perfect. Have a great night, Ken. Go to bed.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. It's 10:30 in the morning. I got plenty of time to do stuff. All right, bye. Bye.